The story begins in the year 2199, when Earth has become completely uninhabitable. An alien warship positioned near Mars has been launching relentless radiation attacks, forcing what remains of humanity to survive in underground bunkers. Cities stand empty. The sky has turned toxic and dark. Every single day has become nothing more than a fight to stay alive. In the middle of this dying world is a man named Marcus Cole, a former pilot now reduced to checking radiation levels and watching the surface decay around him. He has no idea that a mysterious capsule falling from the sky is about to change not just his life, but the fate of every human being still breathing. The alien warship, glowing with golden lines, suddenly activates at full power and intensifies its radiation assault on Earth. The planet that once shone blue and full of life slowly loses everything that made it recognizable. Survivors retreat deeper underground, staring at screens showing a world above them that no longer belongs to them, silently wondering whether they will ever breathe open air again. Humanity refuses to surrender. Space fleets from multiple nations are launched toward Mars in an attempt to stop the aliens. But the gap in power is enormous. The aliens quietly study the limits of human weapons and upgrade their warship before the fleets even get close. Within minutes, most of the spacecraft are reduced to ash. The survivors limp back to Earth defeated. In the poisoned soil below, not a single plant grows. Dust storms slowly bury whatever hope remains. Marcus is out on the surface running his routine radiation checks when the AI suddenly screams a warning. He looks up in time to see a massive explosion tear through the sky. The shockwave throws him to the ground. Something wrapped in fire is falling fast, as though it has been sent deliberately to this exact location. When Marcus comes around, his protection suit is shattered. By every law of biology, he should be dead. The radiation alone should have finished him in minutes. But he is breathing. Before returning to base, his eyes catch a strange capsule lying nearby. Its surface shimmers with an energy that is clearly not from Earth. The machines around it begin giving impossible readings. He reaches toward it and then loses consciousness again. He wakes inside the base with every injury gone. Not healed, gone. The doctors standing over him have no explanation. The capsule is brought in for analysis. The moment the machines connect to it, new data floods the screens. The device contains technology capable of purifying radiation. Hidden within its structure is a complex design schematic originating from a planet called Iskander in the Magellan Nebula. Nobody knows why something was sent from that far away, but for the first time in what feels like forever, the people in that bunker see something in each other's eyes that had almost completely disappeared. Hope. With the threat above growing worse every day and time running out, humanity launches an interstellar exploration mission. The plan is to reach Iskander and make contact with whatever advanced civilization sent the capsule. The space battleship Argo lifts off from its underground dock and begins rising toward the surface. Before it even clears the ground, the screens flash a new alert. The alien warship near Mars has detected the mission and is already tracking them. Everyone on board understands in that moment that this journey will be far more dangerous than anything they planned for. The aliens known as the Garlands move fast. They position their warship directly in the Argo's path before it can build speed. The ship has barely come online. There is no room to maneuver and nowhere to run. The entire crew faces the real possibility that the mission ends before it begins. Captain Harlock wastes no second. He orders the wave motion cannon charged immediately. The crew tears through the safety locks and prepares to fire. Everyone knows that if the timing is even slightly wrong, the cannon could destroy the Argo from the inside. The energy builds to the threshold. The trigger is pulled. A blinding blast tears through space and the alien warship in front of them vanishes in a wall of light. Before anyone can react, the Argo itself disappears from sensors, swallowed by a burst of energy nobody fully understands. The control room goes silent. Then slowly the ship reappears through the smoke intact. Something buried deep inside the vessel, a warp drive, has activated on its own. Nobody has fully understood this technology yet. But it just saved all of them, and it may be the most important thing on board. The Argo locks onto its course toward the Magellan Nebula and executes its first space jump. In a swirl of blue energy, the ship emerges near Jupiter. For a moment, everything is quiet, and the crew sits with the weight of how far they already are from home. Then Marcus spots something moving on the radar, a Garland warship that has followed them through the jump. He tries to power the wave cannon, but the jump has drained the energy reserves. 20 minutes until it can fire again. Captain Harlock sends the Black Tiger Squadron out to buy time. Ace pilot Elena charges directly at the enemy mothership's engines, drawing fire away from the Argo. Enemy fighters swarm her from every angle, and for a few seconds it looks like she won't make it out. Her squad mates arrive just in time to break the encirclement. Together they map the locations of all 4 enemy engines and relay the coordinates back to the Argo. The main cannon fires and the enemy ship explodes, but the shockwave hits Elena's fighter directly. When she comes to, her oxygen is nearly gone and her craft has lost all power. The jump window is 2 minutes away. The entire crew watches the screen in silence. Marcus ignores every order telling him to stay and takes his own fighter out into the debris field. He finds Elena's location with seconds to spare. She ejects just as he activates the recovery system, and he catches her, pulling her back from the edge of open space. As the two of them race back toward the Argo, the remaining enemy fighters, leaderless now, make a kamikaze charge directly at the ship. The Argo fires everything it has, but some break through. Captain Harlock makes a sharp last-second turn that throws the whole ship sideways. The hangar opens with a powerful pull that drags Marcus' fighter inside at the exact moment the Argo jumps. Blue light consumes everything. Then silence. They are somewhere new and the enemy is gone. Barely. The relief barely settles before the radar picks up an alien fighter drifting nearby, likely caught in the jump's gravitational wake. The captain decides to bring it aboard and study the technology. But the moment the analysis begins, the fighter's door bursts open from the inside and a creature tears out, slamming off walls in a frantic attempt to escape. The crew opens fire. The creature goes down. Then something shoots out of its body, a beam of light that moves at the speed of electricity and enters a crew member before anyone can react. He begins convulsing. His strength multiplies. His eyes glow blue. A voice comes out of him that is not his own. The entity identifies itself as Garland and claims it has come to help humanity advance. But the coldness behind those words tells everyone that this is not help. This is something else entirely. Marcus raises his weapon and fires directly at the crystal lodged in the crew member's body. It tears free in a burst of light. The team destroys it completely. The threat is neutralized, but nobody notices that a faint glow still pulses somewhere deep in the ship's systems. Something has changed inside the Argo, and it may not fully reveal itself for some time. Eager to reach Iskander, the ship jumps again. This time when it arrives, the planet below looks nothing like what they expected. The sky is pale. The ground shimmers with a strange chemical light. It looks less like a place of salvation and more like a wasteland. A crew member confirms the coordinates are correct, but the debris on the surface raises an uncomfortable question. What if those coordinates were a trap set by the Garlands all along? Marcus refuses to jump to conclusions. The schematic was real. Someone sent it across the galaxy with a purpose. He argues they should land and see for themselves before making any decisions. Everyone agrees. The problem is the sky above the planet is filled with Garland detection devices that would trigger an immediate response to any movement. The only way down is in free fall. Marcus takes his fighter up to altitude, cuts the engine halfway down, and lets gravity carry him silently through the sensor grid. At the last possible moment, he restarts the engine and stabilizes. A quick scan marks the locations of hidden ground cannons. The Argo destroys them from above in a single sweep before they can respond. The landing team, Marcus, Elena, and 2 others, enters a mountain cave at the coordinates. Inside, the air is cold and heavy. Broken structures line the walls. Ancient markings glow faintly in the dark. Whatever civilization built this place is long gone, but the space feels like it is still holding something, some secret it has been guarding for a very long time. They reach the exact coordinates. A crystal on the ground fills the cave with silver light. Elena walks toward it as though something is pulling her. Her eyes begin to glow. A presence, the consciousness of a being calling itself the Queen of Iskander, enters her and begins to speak. The voice explains that Iskander and the Garland civilization were once the same people on the same planet. When their world began dying, they split into 2 factions. The Iskandarians chose to stay and die with their planet. The Garlands chose to take another world by force Earth. Those who resisted were imprisoned here, reduced to pure consciousness. Now that same consciousness has decided to return with Marcus to Earth and use its technology to heal the poisoned planet. As the team begins making their way back, they pass through the Garland Central Command System buried in the rock. Two of the crew immediately understand what has to be done. They tell Marcus to go. The mission matters more than any one of them. They set a bomb, draw the enemy fire onto themselves, and detonate it as Garland soldiers close in from every direction. The mountain becomes a column of fire. Marcus and Elena use the shockwave to reach the Argo and pull themselves aboard just before it collapses. The old captain listens to everything and gives the order to return home without a moment's hesitation. The Argo turns toward Earth and begins the long journey back. When the blue planet finally appears on the view screen, every person on the bridge goes quiet. Some cover their faces. Others just stare. They made it. In that still moment, Captain Harlock looks at the screen with a small, tired smile and closes his eyes for the last time. The bridge falls into a silence that says everything words cannot. The grief has no time to settle. A massive impact shakes the entire ship and the alarms tear through the quiet. Outside, blocking their path back to Earth, floats the Garland mothership, the flagship of their supreme commander. Its shadow fills all of space in front of them. The commander's voice fills the bridge. His own planet is destroyed. Now he intends to take Earth with him and end humanity's hope permanently. Before anyone can respond, a device is launched from the mothership powerful enough to reduce Earth to ash. The wave cannon is blocked. Forcing it to fire would destroy the Argo from within. Every option disappears one by one. Marcus makes the only decision left. He orders everyone to abandon ship. The crew knows what he is planning. Elena understands it immediately from his eyes and refuses to leave his side. He stuns her with a sidearm, the only way to make sure she survives, and watches the evacuation pods carry her away. Then he turns and faces an empty ship. He pushes the engines to maximum and points the Argo directly at the Garland mothership. Missiles and cannon fire tear into the hull around him. He does not change course. The distance closes. He reaches the firing panel one last time and pulls the trigger. The explosion fills all of space with white light. When it fades, the Garland threat is gone forever. Earth is safe. Slowly, the toxic atmosphere begins to clear. Rain falls on ground that has not felt it in years. In places that were once nothing but ash and silence, small green things begin to push up through the soil. Somewhere in the distance, the sky turns a shade of blue that nobody alive had seen for a very long time. If you enjoy stories where survival is never guaranteed and every moment carries the weight of life and death, hit like right now so I know you want more like this. Subscribe to the channel because every week there is a new story waiting, and the next one might be even more intense than this one.